No, I'm here to support the farmers. It's that simple. They need all the help they can get, really.
Yeah.
Even from me.
Even from you, what's that?
Well, I mean, you take help from wherever you can get it, really, don't you?
Yeah. But you oppose what the government's proposing?
Oh, God, yes. As I've said in the past, if she'd have wanted to take out the likes of James Dyson and investment bankers and so on, she would have used a sniper's rifle. But she's used a blunderbuss and she's hit all this lot. It was, as I understand it, it was a very rushed last-minute decision. And I think, we all make mistakes in life, and I think it's time for them to say, you know what, we cop this one up a bit and back down. That's my view.
Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you.
Right.
I work in a farming business. We consult on management of businesses all the time as our day job. And actually, today I'm worried about the impact really on the day-to-day running of those businesses. Leaving the inheritance tax is sort of options aside. It's the confidence that the industry feels given the changes. Initially the government's taken away probably about £400 million worth of direct payments over the next 2 or 3 years. That's had a massive impact on businesses' cash flows. We've got heightening in cost and that reduction in income. So it really, and this is off the back of 2 tough years in terms of weather, where production has been lower. So the backdrop of the budget comes at a time where actually farming's, the businesses are struggling, and it's really to kind of support and highlight that impact, on the here and now. Not what's happening in the future, because simply the business of farming is really struggling at the moment, and they're the people that deliver the food, that deliver the countryside, and the environmental benefits that we see for clean air and clean water.
I think it's the passing down of your family farm to the next generation. As I said earlier, we want our younger ones to take on our farms, our heritage. And for example, for me, I haven't got a farm pass down, but I have got a business that I've grown since I was 16 years old. So to pass that on to my child now, I'm going to get taxed on that. And actually, can he afford to take that business on? And if he has to then sell 2 tractors, for example, to pay that tax bill, is that going to be unprofitable to actually then make sure he can have a livelihood off that business? So I think that's the challenge. I think that's why everyone's come together today, and I think it's been a long time running actually in terms of the different policies changing for the last maybe 10 years, I would say, and we've all accepted it, but now it's gone to the point where actually it's going to affect us massively and we have to do something about it.
The government's been in place for 3 or 4 months, so it's come out and basically said, this is how we want to deal with the farming in the countryside, and it's the strength of feeling comes from, gosh, they've missed that by a country mile. Yeah, they're so far removed from actually the business of farming and the day-to-day operation. And actually, coming back to the limit, as Kaleb mentions, the business property relief. This isn't just a tax on farms. This is a tax on every small, medium-sized business in the country, which is, the backbone of of Britain's economy. To say that a trading business is going to be levied with a tax on, transfer and death of those shares or the asset is immense. And, that's a tax on, dairy cows, beef cows, growing crops, fertilizer cash. It's a tax on business. It doesn't encourage growth. It doesn't encourage investment, as Kaleb said, investment from the next generation. It comes from it misses the mark by, as I said, a country mile. And it's just, if that's this government's, sort of start and how they're going to deal with, rural policy, we've come to say, look, please come and listen. Get out onto farm. Rachel Reeves, I'll take you around. 100 farms. We will show you. And these are businesses. What it means. These are businesses, as I said earlier, are facing a huge drop in income over the last year. We were faced with high prices following the Ukraine war for inputs, and yet low sales prices. So dairy, beef, sheep,
chickens,
arable, the whole sector's had a massive pay cut already, and this year's looking challenging forecasting future. So it's just we're not making huge amounts of money, We need support, and actually we don't feel supported by this government, and that's the real message coming from us today. Is you need to listen, you need to understand what we're saying, and support in the right way. Create confidence that people can invest, because without that confidence, you're not going to get any.
If you don't get the investment, you will be hit with food shortages straight away. And no farmer's willing to invest in putting crops in the ground. And unfortunately, after the next year, you're not going to have the same amount of wheat. Therefore, you have to import it. Well, yeah, okay, you can import it, but the standards up here, like we're producing food here. And for example, we've already seen the floods in Spain. Well, if that comes out and wipes out, for example, all of Ukraine. So, for example, if the Ukraine floods or if Russia floods or anyone like that, and then we have a shortage of wheat, and we're not growing it here because we're importing everything, we're relying on another country. Well, at the moment, who knows what the weather's going to do?
Yeah.
So therefore, why are we not just growing food here to feed our nation? And of course, if you don't get the investment, we're not going to have that. And that's a worrying thing as well.